Hello, 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 hello. Hello. Is my mic working, guys? Nice. All right, let's get started. It's 10:30 p.m. here in Singapore, man. I will just do a demonstration and I'm off to bed. Let me share my screen. So the Windows Defender bypass is the same as the one that I have used in the Mythic C2 channel. So I'll be showing how you can do the same. And I will be using the Quasar RAT for a proof of concept. So in order to understand how it works, it is recommended to read through this article. The tool basically uses this technique, which helps to bypass the MC on Windows machine. Another good article is written by IBM over here. So it's basically referring to the same thing. So yeah, if you want to understand how the tool works, these two articles should be enough to get you covered. So the tool that we will be demonstrating will be this Go Buena CLR. So this helps to perform a MC bypass on Windows machine. So we can see that the virus and threat protection is updated. So this is fully updated, as well as my Windows OS. So this is all updated. And the virus and threat protection settings is all enabled. And there is no exclusion as well. So we will show how we can bypass this. All right, let's get started. So let's hop over to the Kali machine and do a git clone on the project. So once that is done, we can basically follow the example provided, which is over here. They have an examples folder over here. Right, so what this does is it will perform a simple XOR encryption, and then it will do a load assembly with load 2 instead. So this will bypass MC completely. Right, so the example provided is using Rubius, so we will use the same to demonstrate the bypass. So let's download the Rubius binary first. So we can do that by going to the Ghostpack compiled GitHub project. So Rubius is over here. Let's download this. So this is the example Buena village that we will be compiling. So let's download the Rubius over here. So you can see that the Rubius binary is being downloaded. Right. So let's see how we can compile this. So we will just have to run this command as shown over here. I will have to change this to ARM64 because my Windows is running on ARM64. And we can set the file to the Rubius binary that we have downloaded. So this will produce a Buena Village exe binary. Right. So let's see how can we bypass Windows Defender over here. So let's hop over to our Windows machine. And let's try to transfer the binary over. Let's show Rubius first. So we can see that it is definitely getting detected by Windows Defender. Right, we can see it over here triggering. So Rubius is a no-go for sure. It's getting detected. Right. So now if we were to transfer the Buena Village POC instead, we can see that there is no more detection on Windows Defender, right? So this is actually a custom loader for the Rubius binary. If we were to execute this, we can see that we have successfully bypassed Windows Defender, executing the Rubius binary. So this is the Rubius binary help menu. So this is pretty cool, right? We have successfully bypassed Windows Defender just like this. So it's pretty straightforward, just a quick demonstration. But let's take it to another level because you guys want to see the Quasar RAT bypass, right? Let's do that. So this is the Quasar RAT repository. So let's download this. So we will have to create a Windows Defender exclusion first because we will need to run the server on the same Windows machine. But in reality, your server will be running on your own Windows machine, so that's fine. So let's create a excluded folder here. We will move the client binary outside of the exclusion later on. Again, this is just to run the server, the Quasar RAT server. Is the mic not working? Am I talking to myself? Thanks, man. I think there's a compiled version. Let me try to find the compiled version. Yep. So let's download the compiled version instead. So we don't have to do the compilation. It's blocking it. Why is it not deleting it? Give me a second. So right now I'm downloading the compiled version of the Quasar RAT, and this is running in the excluded Windows Defender because I will need to run the server, and I'm lazy to set up two Windows machines. But we will move the client payload outside of the exclusion to demonstrate the bypass later on. So this is the server. So let's run this. So let's just leave everything as default. What's my Windows IP? .3, right? Okay. So this is the Quasar RAT client payload. So if we were to move it to, let's say, desktop, which is not part of the excluded folder, we can see that it will trigger Windows Defender immediately as the Quasar RAT, right? So let's show how we can bypass this with the tool that I have demonstrated. So we would like to bypass this bad malware, which is our Quasar RAT tool. Let's transfer this to our Kali machine first. So this is the binary, and it should be transferred over here now. So we have the Quasar RAT over here. So let's remove the Buena exe comport binary because this was for Rubius that we have demonstrated earlier. Yeah, Vex CyberSec is correct because Quasar is a net base. So this tool helps to bypass MC completely. So you can do anything that is C# net base and it will bypass. It's pretty awesome. Let's continue with the demonstration. So let's compile this now with the Buena Village. So instead of Rubius, let's do that to our Quasar RAT tool, which is badmalware.exe. So now this will produce a new Buena Village exe binary. So now we need to get out of the exclusion folder. Let's do desktop. Let's clear this. This was for Rubius, right? So we can see that if we were to do a copy bad malware to here, maybe I'll code this. Right, you can see Windows Defender triggering for the Quasar RAT tool. So this is definitely a no-go. However, if we were to execute this Buena Village, we can see that it will bypass Windows Defender. Right, no Windows Defender triggering anymore. And this is on our desktop folder, which is not part of the exclusion. So let's run this. Boom. Guess what? We should have a callback. It's not working now. I'm sorry, guys. Despite receiving a callback, there's a Windows Defender triggering. When I tried this 2 weeks earlier, it was working. So let's see if the callback is now terminated. So right, it doesn't work for Quasar RAT anymore. But it did work for Rubius. So yeah, we can probably try to rename some of the functions. It might work. But right now it's being detected for Quasar, but not for Rubius though. You guys can play around with the project. I will leave the URL. I will leave the URL for you guys to try. Yeah, you probably need to perform a few changes for it to work. Yep, I'm just using it out of the box from GitHub. So I'm not surprised that it is not working anymore actually. You can see that when I got it working, it was 2 weeks ago. So I didn't try it again. So yep, somehow it's being detected right now. You just probably have to mess around with the stubs and change some of the signatures. All right, man, I hope this is helpful, and I will definitely leave all the references for you guys to play around with it. Yep. All right, man, I hope you guys have found it to be useful, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.